Good morning. It's Tuesday. I guess it's Wednesday for you. I'm really tired, but not. I'm content, I think, this morning. I've really been kind of taking it easy. I've been really off on my morning schedule, particularly during Vlogmas, because instead of doing my normal morning routine where I wake up and, I have some coffee and knit and do some household stuff or I don't know, whatever I want. But I usually use at least an hour in the morning of time to just be. I've been using that hour to edit my Vlogmas videos. And just with everything that's been going on in life, and I've been sleeping in a lot. And by sleeping in, I mean I'm not getting up at 5:30 or 6. I'm getting up at 6:30 or 7 or 7:30 sometimes. So the time that I have is a lot less. My sleep schedule's off. And this morning I got up at my regular time. Sorry, just sneezed. I made some tea. This morning. It's really now that we're running the heat a lot, it's colder out. I woke up so dry and stuffy this morning, so I'm craving my first cup of coffee, but I've got my favorite tea here. It's peppermint. It's the last tea bag, so I have to remember to pick some up next time we're at the store, or else it's going to be a crisis next time I want peppermint tea and there's none. I'm sure I'll survive, but I want to open my Advent for the day here with you and show you kind of where I'm at with my knitting and get our day started together. So I really need to catch up. I'm really behind on my northeasterly blanket. Let's open the mini. Today is day 14, and the colorway is called Christmas Train. Christmas Train. I don't know how to guess. A Christmas train to me is the Polar Express. I don't know, but what color are trains? Red? I don't know. I don't have a good guess. I'm going to say it's red. Yesterday was brown, though. Maybe it's brown again. I don't know. It wasn't really brown. I'm going to say it's red and green. That's what we guess. Oh, no, not close at all. Wow, this is really beautiful, though. Check this out. It's got some gray and green speckles. This is really pretty. It's got some brown. I could see this as a Christmas train. It's so cute. I think I inserted a clip at the end of yesterday's video that has all of Natalie's minis lined up next to each other. Some of them were caked up because I've been using them, but the rest were still in their little mini. And they just look so beautiful together. I don't know. I feel like I say this every day, but I'm just in awe. Every day I wake up and I'm like, wow, it's incredible again. So that's our mini today. And let's see. Let me show you my knitting. I am probably, if I had to set an knitting goal today, I want to line this up. This is day 4's color. Oh my gosh, I'm not looking at it. This is day 4's color. I want to wind this up and get to adding it into my northeasterly. This is where I'm at with the northeasterly. I'm also second guessing how long I decided to make it, but I'm just going to stick with it. I feel like it's going to be humongous. This is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. This is 30 inches right now long, and that's before it's washed and blocked. So it probably just grew another couple the way I just stretched it. I probably shouldn't do that, but I'm trying to show you here like what it's looking like. Isn't it beautiful? I'm so excited about it. Anyway, this is where I'm at. I finished a lot of this. Am I remembering correctly? I feel like I finished a lot of this weekend. Like, I finished this at Zach's family's house on Saturday night when we were there. And I started this, and then I think I finished this and maybe half of the blue on Sunday. And I finished the blue last night, and then I added the other cream. So I'd like to add the cream. Add the cream. I've added the bear. I'd like to finish the bear today and have the green mini wound up, and it's not green. You know what I mean. The mini I just showed you. I'd like to have that wound up and put in there by the end of today, which I think would be reasonable if I had just stripes to knit, but I don't. I have heels, so I am officially, for the size sock I make for myself, it's time for me, oh shoot, I lost my stitch marker, it's fine. It's time for me to put the heels in, so I would like to do that today. I have 2 office days this week, actually. I'll be there tomorrow and again on Friday. And that means that I need to have more vanilla knitting. So I know, okay, my yarn's like untangling. I know that socks are the easiest for me to do on those days if I bring anything with me. I'd like for it to be these because I don't want to have to like play catch up on the weekend. But it might just be what it is. But like, here are my sockies. And also I wanted to show you, I have a couple of rows done on this sport sock for Zach, which I did, I don't know, over the weekend. So I also could work on this. I'd love to get something off of my needles right now, as much as I haven't been dedicating a lot of my knitting time to that effort. I'm just really overwhelmed with the amount of knitting that I have, and also kind of with the amount of yarn that I have. I had this moment the other day where I was like, I have too much yarn. I don't want to buy any more yarn. And I feel like it's very rare that any knitter, crocheter, yarn lover ever says that. But I'm saying it. So I think I mentioned the other day, you know, I'm really trying to knit down my stash next year as I look at it longingly from my desk. So yeah, I really want to get all of the whips off of my needles in some way, shape, or form within the first few months of next year. And that includes frogging. There's a couple that have just been like sitting in there. Like, I have a really chunky blanket that has been sitting in there for like an eternity, it seems like. And every now and then I pick it up and I'm like, oh, I love this. I'm going to finish it. And then I knit 2 rows on it for like a day. And then it goes back in and I forget about it. And so I think I would love to have it, but I don't know. Maybe I'll just need to make a priority of finishing it or figure out a new plan for it. But that's where I'm at. I am going to make some coffee now, maybe grab some breakfast, get myself ready to start my work day. And I'll talk to you later. Okay, it is the end of the day, and I am kind of itching to look through my stash and pick out the projects that I have in mind for next year. And I think I mentioned this in a vlog the other day, but there are a couple of sweaters that I have planned, or shirts or garments, and then, or I shouldn't really say I have planned, I just know I have the yarn for them, because I planned to do them once and then never did. And then the rest of my yarn is primarily like single skeins. So I pulled out my yarn just now, and I sorted a lot of it into skeins I bought intentionally for sock knitting, and I set those aside. Then I pulled out the yarn that I know I had set aside for garments, or I knew could work for a specific garment, or I had a garment in mind for it. And then I kind of left the rest alone, so then I know what I have left to play with. So I kind of want to show you some of that now. So I'm going to flip you around and show you at least what I have garment-wise that I know I'll be working on in 2022. So the first and easiest thing I know I'm going to knock off my list is the Wednesday sweater. Whoops. I have obviously a sweater quantity here of the bear and the mohair. I'm probably going to be done with that. I'd like to say at the end of January, because I'm knitting that with one of my friends. I have even a swatch done for this. I have 2 rocket tees planned. This is the first one that will definitely get made with this mohair and this. This is Madeline Tosh something. But I also bought this yarn and this yarn to do like a cotton blend type deal. Rocket tee here. And this is the blend though, linen, cotton, viscose, polyester, which I think would be really easy to wear all year long for layering or in the summer, which I like. But I remember when I started to do the swatch for this, I'd have to go down at least 1 needle size for every time I worked a stripe in this color, as opposed to when I do the mohair held double. So I'm not really quite certain if I'll actually get to that, but I'd like to figure out a use for those this year. And I think I'd really love it in a rocket tee. So I want to try and figure out 2 rocket tees and a Wednesday sweater. I also got this skein, and there is a sample tank knit up in this during the yarn crawl when I bought it. And I'm going to make that tank. It only requires 1 skein. I know it's my size, so I'm going to knit that out of this, which shouldn't take too long. And I also have these 4 skeins I think work really well together that I would like to knit sort of a color block sweater out of. And I can't remember what the pattern is called, like Gracious or something. It's a free pattern, but I already have the sweater picked out, so I'd love to do this. It's alpaca, so I think it's going to be really warm, but I'm excited for it. So I also have that planned. And the final garment that I would like to make, but I don't really have a plan for, is something out of these yarns. These are all blush yarns, and they work so well together. I wanted to use these in my shawlography and didn't. I mean, come on. So I'd like to find like a fade sweater, or, I mean, I suppose I could even do a lapoof because it calls for fingering weight held double. But I really would love to find a way to utilize those 4 skeins for a garment. As for my sock specific yarn, I mean, most of the yarn that I do have is fingering weight, like sock weight yarn, but these are all of the yarns that I know I've purchased with the intention of knitting socks. So I know I'm going to cast these on. These will be done Christmas time. These I would like to do like an Easter cast on for, because they're like, the colorway is like bunny hop or something, I think is what it's called. Yeah. So I know I'm definitely going to do those. The rest of these, I mean, I think these would be fun socks for me. I thought maybe these would be fun socks for Zach. And I have like these. These are definitely going to be socks for me. So is this. I can't wait to use this. I actually named this colorway. I don't know. So there's that. These 3, I could totally do socks out of. I think they'd be really fun. At least these 2, like really fun tonal socks. But I don't particularly have anything in mind for them right now. I love the way they look together, so I would love to use them together. But I also think like on its own, this could be like a fun sock. And then I really am leaning towards knitting Zach a hat in this color. And then I don't know what I'll do with this, but I don't know. I like the color. I think it would be a really good like one skein shawl, or I could do another hat. Not certain about those, but these, I've purchased all of these with the intention of making them for someone. So this is going to be a lady-in-law sock. This is going to be a lady-in-law sock. This is going to be a lady-in-law sock. Hopefully for like next Christmas or birthdays in the new year. This is going to be socks for my dad. This is going to be socks for my mom. This is going to be socks for my sister. And then I got this too. Actually, I think this is Teeny Button inspired by Taylor Swift. I think this says You Belong With Me, which I really love. And I think these will probably be socks for myself, but I set them over here because it was already caked up. So these are probably going to be socks next year. I don't know if I'm going to get to all of them. I'd like to get to all of them, but that's what we're looking like. The rest of my stash, questionable. It's really questionable. I could show it to you right now, but it's a real big mess. So don't judge. The rest of my stash is here. I went ahead and aside from like some random things in this back left corner, and this top quadrant is all of the garment things that I've just showed you. Over here is pretty much everything I have left that's in fingering weight. Some of it could be socks. I figured I would just kind of wait and see like where I get with the things that I just pulled out and have identified as planned, basically. And then if I need more projects, you know, I can base them off of what I have there. I have a whip in there and some random yarn that I know I could do a scarf for. This is some of my chunky yarn. Not this. This is sock yarn I just shoved in there. For a whip I have to finish, but I could totally do a blanket out of this. But I haven't really decided. I think it could be quick, but I don't know that all the colors go together. So I'm kind of going to wait and see how I feel in the new year about using that up. I'd like for it to be gone, but I don't have plans. And then this right there is my whip bin. I've got a ton of minis down in there. This is my giveaway bin, actually, for my podcast. So I have some things for giveaways in there, so I won't be using that. But the white container on top has a bunch of cotton yarn I'd like to knit through for dishcloths. And then this is like my Caron Simply Soft stash that I have left over from temperature blankets that I've made. And I would like to use it up. I just don't have any projects in mind. I know I could totally do like a couple of really cool, like bright, fun colored or neutral colored, like acrylic sweaters, but I don't know how I feel about doing an acrylic sweater. I've never done one. And I don't know like how it would stretch with Caron Simply Soft. So I don't know if anybody has any ideas for that aren't like a temperature blanket. Let me know, because I'm uncertain and I don't want it to go to waste. Like I'd like to use it myself. I just don't know really how if it's not a blanket. And that's my stash.